Well, hey there. You made it to accountability training. I got to come up with a sexier name for that. I can't even come up with anything off the top of my head. Maybe you guys can comment or DM me a much sexier name than accountability training. I got fuzz in my beard. That's what happens. Accountability training sounds like something you go through in like HR when there's a problem or conflict between you and a coworker. Please report to HR for accountability training. Mandatory exercises. I'm excited you're here. I'm excited to be able to get to do this. It's fun, and I hope I don't let you down. Don't tell me if I do. I just don't think I could handle it. Um, let's dive into, well, first of all, before we get started, you're going to need a couple things. Grab a pen and a paper. So if you're somewhere where you're not able to write, you can listen to this training all the way through. I don't know why I just did that with my hand. Like in my head, I pictured this. Like you can listen to this all the way through, but my hand was back here, so it was more like pulling out a samurai sword, which would be awesome. If somebody has a samurai sword that they are no longer using or want, I will be happy to take it off your hands. Send it on over. But if you're somewhere where you can't write notes at all, then feel free to listen to this or watch it through. But you'll get the most benefit out of this if you are somewhere where you can write. So, that being said, let's talk about what this is and what this isn't, which I think is fair. Expectations. I have no idea what your expectations of me are. I will tell you that the reason I'm doing this, and several people have asked, why are you giving away this kind of stuff? Why? Look, there's enough people out there that have enough greed to go around, okay? And there's no shortage of it. I think what our culture lacks is people who are willing to just give. And the reason the reason I'm able to give this way is because I have been blessed and had the fortunate or just the good fortune of having enough people in my life over the years, many people who gave freely to me. And I know what that feels like, and I know that it's incredibly, incredibly encouraging in a world full where everybody's just taking, and me, look at me, check me out. I know that it's rare to find people that really are just interested in giving you value. And I'm not talking about tricking you with value, like putting up cute little quotes and um, shiny little things to make you look, and then they just keep doing that, and then you know what I mean. Then your attention's just always on them because they're constantly just waving something else in front of you and waving something else and like to actually give value, to actually give away stuff that benefits you and helps you. And I'm not against selling stuff. I mean, if you have a product to sell, go sell it. Like I'm all about that. Go hustle, go grind, go make your money, go make your living. But I'm saying if all you ever do is try and get my money, eventually it just wears down, and I'm like, all right, dude, give it a rest. But if you're the kind of person, if you got value for me, man, shoot it, give it to me. You know what I'm saying? Let me have it. Give it out. You know what I mean? You give me 8 pieces of value and ask me to buy something from you the other 2 times out of 10. I'll buy from you 2 times out of 10. You know what I mean? But that eight times of value has to be worth what I'm looking to pay or what I'm looking to get out of those 2 times that you're selling. Does that make sense? There's just not enough people giving out free content. And I'm not talking about free as in a sense that they're not putting enough value in their free content. There's a lot of people giving out free content, but a lot of it's just bullshit. A lot of it's just kind of under the radar. I don't know. It doesn't really do much. So I understand that it's difficult to find that. And the last 10 years, I just did whatever I wanted to. And I haven't had a job in 10 years. I've worked for myself. I've traveled the country. I've traveled the world. Um, I've done the coolest stuff. I've had so much fun. And I know what that's like. And I promised myself when I turned 30, I would take everything I learned in my 20s and I would package it all and I would put it all together and I would start giving back and helping other people do the same thing, find their passion and build something cool around it. That's what it's what makes me tick. Like I love it. And I know what it's like to have people do that for me. So I want to do that. So that's why I give this away. That's why I'm doing this. And that's why I have it's very much a take it or leave it attitude. Uh, there's never going to be like a huge sales pitch to anything. Yeah, I'll sell you stuff. I mean, I'm a marketer. I market information. So there's going to be stuff that if you want it, you can buy it. But, like today's training, accountability training, and the other 3 trainings that you can get. Oh, by the way, just tell me where to send those. Like reminder, just put your email address below. Let me know where to send those and I'll shoot those to you. But, if people want stuff, they can have it. If people want to buy stuff, they can buy it. But trainings like this, I remember times when people sat me down and said, hey, I'm going to help you. That's what I'm going to do. Or, hey, if you need help, you let me know. Which basically is what I did today. I said, hey, if you need help, let me know. On these 4 things, let me know. What's most important? I'll send you a training. Boom. It's that simple. See, there's a super effective and valuable exchange that happens when we as people start to give value. And I won't spend too much more time on this because I can get off on these rants sometimes talking about the importance of value and the place it holds in our society when it comes to how effective it can be and how powerful it can be. But there definitely is something to this. So I'm excited to give you. I like making free stuff for you guys. I do. It's fun and it keeps me out of trouble, to be honest, and it keeps me occupied. And I love hearing. It's very encouraging to me, very motivating, very powerful to hear how it is providing value to you, how it's benefiting you. And I'm excited to see you guys continue to do cool stuff. Some of you guys are doing such cool stuff. Some of you are getting there. Some are trying to figure out how to get there. And I'm excited to watch your journey. I'm excited to see how that goes. I'm going to get into this accountability training, but I really need you to, it's very important that you be open to accountability training. The same way, if you want accountability, you really got to want accountability. Like you have to be open to it, right? So if you say, hey, I got to quit smoking, hold me accountable. Look, if you ever ask me that and I hold you accountable, don't get mad at me when I hit the cigarette out of your mouth. Don't get mad at me when I throw away a brand new pack. Don't get mad at me. You asked me to keep you accountable, so I'm going to keep you accountable. All right, so if you want me to keep you accountable, then don't get mad. All right? You have to actually want this. That's the first thing I got. Really kind of the biggest thing about accountability. You've got to really want accountability. I mean, it takes a person with balls to step up and ask for accountability to the things that matter, because the things that matter often require the dedication enough to build a habit around something that becomes a benefit in their life that allows them to move forward to the places that they are dreaming of or that their goals are set for. So if you really want accountability, you really got to have some balls to like ask people, hey, can you hold me accountable to this, right? It's easier to just go, well, I mean, yeah, I'll get there. I'll do this. I'll do that with no accountability, because then if you screw up, there's no one there to call you out. So you got to really want it. Okay. One of the things I think is really cool about accountability, and this is true, I think, for everybody, is that you are always going to be your greatest source of accountability. Which, if you watch the other videos, you're going to hear some similar things. You're going to hear something similar. You are capable of a lot of things, which is cool. And I'm not saying that as like a cheesy motivational, like you are capable of some. I'm like, for real. You have the ability. If you want accountability, you're the only person who has the ability to go get you that accountability, which means you are your greatest source of accountability. Did you follow that? So you are the one who can hold yourself to it. And you're the one that's going to have to, right? Go back to the quitting smoking thing again. If you want to quit smoking and you have accountability and people are going to hold you to that, but then later that night, nobody's around and you sneak out back and go smoke, nobody knows. Nobody has to find out, right? Only you can keep yourself accountable to that. Only you can have the integrity and the honesty to actually stick to that accountability. That's your choice. So you can either be your best friend in accountability or you can be your worst nightmare. You can either go to where you want to go, you can accomplish the great things that you're destined for, or you can continue to hold yourself back because you're too scared to get some accountability, right? Don't be a wuss. If you need some accountability, get some accountability, okay? Accountability in our culture today is not a very popular thing. Um, I have been through this many times with several things in my life, wanting accountability, but it's super easy to just kind of, um, I don't know, brush it off. Start tomorrow, start next year. I mean, we just came into a new year, and everybody, this is one of the reasons why I think people, not what I think, what I know, people fail in their resolutions. It's easy to set a resolution, it's harder to find accountability. It's even harder to accept that accountability. And it's even harder to listen to that accountability. Right? So people just drop out. It's easier. It's easier to quit and never be called out. I mean, think about it. It's much easier. If you just quit without anybody knowing, then you never actually have to. You're technically not a failure. Ooh, excuse me. You're not a failure, and nobody knows you're a failure because, kind of, if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's there to hear it, does it make a sound? Kind of a deal, right? If nobody knows you stopped going to the gym, are you really a failure? We tend to justify things in our brains when it comes to accountability, especially in our culture. People don't like to be told what to do anymore. They get all sassy and cocky and entitled, and it's bullshit, but they get all worked up and their panties in a wad when someone says, man, what are you doing? You're being an idiot. And they go, you can't tell me what to do. You got to accept me for who I am, man. And the person's like, no, what are you talking about? Like, no, you said you didn't want to do that anymore. So why are you doing that still, right? Hang on, I just dropped my paper. So if we're wanting accountability, we're gonna have to man up, have to woman up, we're gonna have to grab the bull by the horns, and we're gonna have to actually accept that accountability. That's not popular in our culture. The other side of that too is a lot of people don't know how to give accountability. So you have to make sure that you are very clear on what accountability means, right? So if I tell you I want you to hold me accountable to doing 10 jumping jacks a day, okay? If I don't clarify that, someone might call me at 3 a.m. saying, hey, did you do your jumping jacks? I'm sleeping at 3 a.m. Someone would be pissed if you call me at 3 a.m. reminding me of my jumping jacks. But if I say, hey, I need to do my 10 jumping jacks a day between 4 and 6 o'clock. Doesn't matter when, but just any time between 4 and 6 o'clock. Just shoot me a text at like 3:45 every day. It would mean a lot. Thank you. That's different because now it's specified. So now when you get the text at 3:45 saying, hey, just a reminder, got to get those jumping jacks done. Hey, you're right. Awesome. Thanks for keeping me accountable. Boom, jumping jacks get done. Okay? And you can't get pissed, but you're expecting it. So it doesn't surprise you when the text comes through. Okay? So identifying and clarifying what the accountability is for, why you need it, why you want it, super, super important. But a lot of people just don't like to have accountability because they don't like to be told what to do. It's just a stupid thing. If you want accountability, ask for it, get it, take it. If somebody holds you accountable, then let them. If you ask somebody to hold you accountable, let them hold you accountable, right? All successful people have accountability somewhere, somehow, right? Businesses, who's the accountability partner in a business, right? The accountant, right, is one. Right? The HR department is another. There's a lot of accountability in business. People saying, hey, here's what you need to do. Here's what you have to do, right? Board of directors can be one. This is why a lot of small businesses fail, though, because there's no accountability. There's nobody looking over their shoulder to make sure certain things get done. It's just them. It's just one person or two people or a small group of people that have no accountability. That's why a lot of big startups that get funded go under. Suddenly that first $1 million check gets written and they're going, oh boy, look at all the money that the company has. 2 days later, all the guys that founded the company are driving Lamborghinis because there was no accountability. 6 months later, company goes under and cars get repoed. What happened? There's no accountability, right? So when there's no accountability, it's easier to fail because there's nobody there to call us out, and we don't have to take fault. All that to say, if you want accountability, it can make drastic improvements in your life, but only if you let it. Okay? And again, it's not popular. It's not something we like to hear. Hey, you sucked. Don't suck again. You know what I mean? Hey, you just screwed that up. Don't screw that up again. Oh God, well, who are you to talk to me? Tell me I'm the person you told to hold you accountable, so that's what I'm doing. All right? Slap bets. You know, what movie is that from? I forget. You know, with the bet, okay, if you screw this up, I gotta slap you in the face as hard as I can. Things like that, right? It's easier to just let it slide under the rug if I screwed up because I don't want to get slapped in the face. Well, usually accountability is so that we don't do things or that we do get things done, and the consequences, can and usually are, pretty severe if we do something or if we don't do something. But if we don't ever get accountability, there's no severe consequence attached to anything. This starts to create a habit in our mind that becomes a life action, something that we're normally used to doing. Suddenly, if we don't have accountability, we just start to think, we learn, we teach ourselves that we don't really have to follow through with everything because we never get caught if we don't. We don't have to get anything done. We can just do it later if we really want to. Right? So that becomes a problem because long term that'll affect our relationships, affects our business, it affects our lives, affects every way we think. Okay, so which is why I asked earlier, do you really want accountability? All right, if you really want accountability, you gotta have the balls to accept the accountability when it comes, because it's uncomfortable and it sucks because in our culture we're taught I can do whatever I want when I want. And we're using examples of people who have time and financial and life freedom, and we're looking at them saying we think they can do whatever they want, whatever they want. So we think, well, that's what I want, so nobody can tell me what to do because that's my dream, is to just be free. But that's not how it works, right? In fact, the people that you're looking at that have the greatest success often are the people with the most accountability. They've got time schedules. They keep hours. They've got conferences they've got to be to. They've got Skype calls, even if they're in the Maldives. They've got this stuff. They've got accountability that they have to stick to, right? They still got to pay those taxes. They still got to make sure that stuff gets where it needs to be and on time. Has to happen, okay? So don't fool yourself when it comes to accountability. If you want it, it will work for you. But you got to grow through some thick skin because accountability sucks if you're a wuss, right? But if you're that kind of wuss and you're that soft, you're really not going to go anywhere anyways. That's just me, just saying. But I'm not here for the soft people. I'm here for the people who want to implement the stuff that works. Okay? What do you want accountability in? What do you want to get done? Who do you want to be? Where do you want to go? What do you want to accomplish? Right? These are things that, in fact, I want you to make a list. I told you get a piece of paper and a pencil out, or a pen, whatever you prefer. You can use a marker for all I care, or your computer too. You can use chalk. You can use charcoal. Prick your finger, use blood if you'd like. I'm probably missing a couple things. You could probably think of some. So whatever you got to do to make a list, I want you to write those things out. Right? If there's something you want to become, if you want to get in shape, right? Get in shape. But not just get in shape. Like, really, what do you mean? You know what I mean? Do you want to lose the belly fat? Do you want to be able to fit in those high school jeans again? Do you want to not be the skinny little pipsqueak from high school? You actually want to bulk up a little bit for this summer. You actually want to be able to bench press your weight once in your life. Things like this. Set some goals. Okay? I mean, accountability really at the root is all around goal setting, which we're not going to do. If you want more on that, I can do some segments on goal setting. And in the course I'm creating, that's a huge part of it. And when I do private consulting, I mean, this stuff is goal setting is like everything, and there's ways to do it where it's effective, and then there's ways that most people do it where it just ends up being this big mess. It's like stepping on an anthill and we just kind of go crazy. We got all these goals. Okay, but accountability, when it comes to accountability, if you apply accountability to the things that you want to get done, the things you want to do, right? Back to your list, write those things down. What are they? What you want to get done? Right, so let's say if you want to lose weight, that's your goal. Write that down. You should have a goal list already. I hope you do. If you don't, you need to start one and be specific on these goal lists. Um, and then what you're going to do is you're going to find a source of accountability for each of those things. So your source of accountability for losing weight might be the trainer at your gym. Might be hiring a trainer. Trainer will keep you accountable. I used to be a personal trainer back in the day before I was a tattoo artist. And that's what we did. Really, at the end of the day, all we did was, we showed people work out, but really we just kept people accountable, worked with them to keep them accountable. And it worked. My clients always hit their goals. Always. Just keep them accountable. It was fun. We had a great time. But they put in the work and we kept them accountable. And there's no exceptions. And if you bailed on me enough, I just dropped you as a client. And then people were going, well, who's going to train me? I go, well, it's not like you show up for your trainer anyways, right? Accountability, when it's applied, can suck. But it can get you to where you want to go if you let it. Okay? And we talked about defining what the accountability is. What kind of accountability do you want? What is your accountability partner? What are they allowed to do? Oh, excuse me. How are they allowed to enforce your accountability? Make sure that that's clear when you're looking for accountability. Make sure that you know what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. Because if you give people run of the mill, you're not going to like how they do it. But I also wouldn't give so much accountability restriction that they can't actually really hold you accountable. Let somebody hold you accountable. Be real. Looks like I have an alien coming out of my chest with this sweatshirt. Anyways, I'll cover that. That's my alien. I'll cover that up. It's embarrassing. I've had it since birth. Maybe you've met my mom, Sigourney Weaver. There's not much more to accountability other than being specific in what it is. Look, the reality is you're going to have to stay accountable to your accountability. Does that make sense? There's no other way around it. Pick a goal, pick a place you want to go, pick something you want to get done, somebody you want to be, whatever. You got that list, write all that stuff down, and then find someone that'll hold you to it and let them know how you need them to hold you to it. And then stay accountable to that. Set an alarm for yourself. Call Tom, remind him to keep me accountable. Right? Whatever it is, you got to stick to it. And accountability is only as effective as your willingness to let it be. There's not really much more to it. There's a lot of different ways you can go into accountability and defining how it works for you. And it definitely can get much more advanced. There's examples and stories and all this stuff. But as far as your own life, how you can apply it right now, my recommendation, my suggestion would be write your goals out. Find somebody to hold you accountable to each of those. And then stay up with that accountability partner. Communicate with them. Be honest with them. If you screw up, super important. Habitually, mindset stuff. This is advanced mindset stuff. But when you screw up, it's very important to acknowledge the screw up. Right? What do they say in addiction and recovery? The first step to recovery is admitting you have a problem. Right? It's not ignoring that you had a problem and pretending everything's good. It's admitting it and confronting it. So when you find these accountability partners, let them know, hey, I'm going to let you know if I screw up. Because one of the reasons we lose accountability and we never get to where we want to go is because we feel some sort of shame. Even if we don't really feel shameful, like, oh, I missed a day at the gym, that might not make me feel shameful. It doesn't make me tuck my tail between my legs and walk off and hide under a tarp for 3 days. But mentally, if I acknowledge that and I let my accountability partner know, see, maybe they didn't ever even found out. But if I let them know and I go, you know what, actually, I wanted to stay home and eat pizza instead. So I stayed home and I ate pizza and I watched a movie. That breeds a habit of confronting the issue. Right? You've already said, your brain already knows what your goal is. Your brain has already acknowledged that there's accountability. And your brain already knows that you want accountability because you want the outcome of the goal. So if we continuously fail, or if we fail here and there and we don't confront it, then we teach our brain that the failure isn't really that big of a deal. Okay? It's just really not important, so we can fail as many times as we need to, which really means failure it's not a big deal if I miss the gym all the time either, because, well, I taught myself that it wasn't a big deal. But if I confront it, Nobody likes confrontation. When we confront that, it's actually a form of fear, confrontation, especially with ourselves. Again, that's more advanced mindset stuff. But when it comes to confronting personal confrontation, fears, all this stuff, when we go, oh my gosh, I missed the gym today, and I acknowledge that. I shouldn't have done that. That sucked. Okay, now I've got to go out of my way. I got to get a little bit vulnerable, and I'm going to let my accountability partner know. You know what? I missed the gym, and here's why. And then I'm going to let that accountability partner, if they're going to ream me, they're going to ream me. If they're going to get on me, they're going to get on me. They're the accountability partner. They can do whatever they want to do. They can decide what it is that happens as a result of being my accountability partner. All right? Especially if I've already set that up prehand. I know if I tell them there's going to be consequences. That's why those consequences are so important. That's why the details are important. But what it does is it teaches my brain that the failure is a big deal. And it teaches my brain the next time I want to sit home and eat pizza and just watch a movie instead of going to the gym, my brain starts to work for me instead. My brain actually starts to focus on why I should go to the gym instead, as opposed to, dude, it's fine, just eat pizza and watch a movie, because who cares? No one's going to find out about this. But I know that I don't like the confrontation, which is a form of fear, which means my brain is going to start to work for me, going, man, you really don't want to make that phone call again. You don't want to get slapped in the face again. You don't want the consequences going to come with this. You don't want prolonged hypertension and heart and blood pressure and all these problems, right? You don't want to prolong those. You don't want great risk of stroke and heart attack. The older you get, you don't want these things. Right? It's amazing what happens when those health things hit the fan, isn't it? Right? Dude has a stroke, suddenly he becomes the healthiest guy on the block. Right? Pushed it a little too far, boom, everything snapped. All comes crashing down. Suddenly he loves health food, right? Suddenly he likes jogging and running. Because you put somebody that close to death. See, accountability is what keeps us on track so we don't have to experience those shitty consequences. It's somebody pushing us to that limit, somebody making sure we stay on track so that we can experience the good in life and not just at the sake or the expense of having experienced the extremities of the bad, right? So accountability. If you want accountability, find accountability, but have the balls to stick it out. You'll thank yourself for it. Trust me. Okay, so that's really it on accountability for now. It's very simple. I've explained it a few times. There's not much more else. I don't need to make an hour-long video of something that doesn't need to take an hour. Set a goal, find accountability, and let them hold it to you. Okay? Or let them hold you to it. Yep. So, that's it. There are 3 more videos that I have made. If you want them, just tell me where to send them. Email address below. And I will shoot you those. Had some fun. In the purpose video, I actually went to the park. You'll hear about the scuba diver in the river. It's a real thing that happened. It was weird, but that's in the purpose video. I kid you not. I kid you not. You'll see it. I'm filming, and the scuba diver pops up out of nowhere. It was kind of weird, but that's in the purpose video. So email address below. Get that. There's 3 more. I'll send them to you in the next 3 days. 1 tomorrow, 1 the next day, 1 the following. And then if you got any value out of this, let me know. Like I said at the beginning, I hope I don't let you down. I'm a pretty straight-laced shooter. Some of my trainings don't really there's not much to them. It's just I shoot shit straight. Here it is. Here's it, black and white, 1, 2, 3, ABC kind of deal. But if you got value from this, let me know, please. Let me know over at Instagram. Shoot me a DM, comment, whatever. I'd love to hear what you got out of this. I'd love to hear how you're going to apply it. I'd love to hear how it's working for you. Keep in touch. Let me know. I'd love to hear this kind of stuff. I love when you win. That's my favorite thing. I really do. I'm such an underdog fan. I'm rooting for you guys. There's too many people against us. Too many people against us. So how about we go out there and crush it? Huh? Underdogs unite. I mean, for real though. Okay. I will see you guys in the next video. And until then, signing off, Caleb Wayne Hale. See you soon.